Hello, this is Dr. Grant Schmidt, Superintendent for Hanover School District. Thank you for joining me today on this presentation to explain the move of the Transportation and Maintenance Department to the old school building. Once again, these video presentations are to provide yet another sense of transparency within the school district, as well as regular communication with our school district community. As many of you are aware, the old school building for the school district is located in front of the junior-senior high school. It has not been used for a number of school years. The modular complex is located in front of the junior-senior high school and next to the old school building. What we did as a school district was to look at what is our fiscal responsibility to the community and our students, as well as how do we best manage the facilities that we have available to us. In doing so, we looked at the Brown Modular Complex, which has a total of 7,840 square feet. It is comprised of 6 single-wide modular trailers. Then we looked at the old school building. The school building actually originated with this red section. A couple of expansion efforts took place once the original red area was built. The section of the building which we are going to begin to utilize is here in yellow. This section includes the gymnasium, the cafeteria space, and the use of 2 kindergarten classrooms. Those 2 kindergarten classrooms is where the maintenance and transportation department has moved its space for a total of 1,400 square feet of daily use. Going back to the picture of the old elementary school, I have highlighted the portion of the building which has been reopened. The question may be, where did the money come from to be able to do this? In the 2015 legislative session, a bill came forward entitled Rural Flexibility Bill. It provided $10 million for all the districts in the state of Colorado with 1,000 or fewer students. The money was divided between all those districts on a per pupil allocation basis. Our school district received $63,000 from that bill, which was only one time, meaning we received it for the 2015-16 school year only. We also had an increase in student enrollment for this school year, which brought us an additional $47,000, for a total of $110,000. When looking at this money, a number of things were done, specifically looking at deferred maintenance and one-time opportunities, such as how to utilize our space best in the school district. The cost in order to open that portion of the new school building included these 3 main items. Before we turned the water on for the plumbing, we wanted to make sure there would not be a number of leaks creating damage inside the building. So an air pressure test was done to identify where the potential leaks could be. Once that was done and identified, we were able to turn the water line on. At that time, we still found a leak in the main water line, which needed to be repaired. At the same time that we were looking to open up the old school building for this use, there was a discovery that the sewage line used by both the old school as well as the current Brown Modular Complex was damaged and cracked. So the repair process was to put a liner, as they call it, shoot a liner into the sewage lines to seal the cracks in the pipes. The total cost of these major projects came to $12,500. What we also were able to discover in this process was that the fire alarm system for the old building was not actually functioning. We had that repaired. The fire alarm system did not have a connected monitoring service to it as well. We had that repaired. And as I mentioned before, the sewage line had damage, which we had that repaired. And then finally, the security alarm system, even though it was in place, it did not have a connected monitoring system, and that has since been repaired. Whenever we do something like this, it is important for us to look at what is called the return on investment, also referenced as ROI. So here are some of the data. In the purple, the modular complex that is currently being used by the Transportation and Maintenance Department is a total of 7,840 square feet. The old school building space that we are looking at utilizing is 14,000 square feet. Of that 14,000 square feet, approximately 1,400 square feet will be for the offices. 1,100 square feet will be for community use. 8,000 square feet will be for the use of the gym, and 3,500 square feet for future classrooms, which is located in the upstairs portion of this part of the building. We do not actually see ourselves heating and cooling all of the square footage in the old school building. The modular complex heating and cooling cost came to an annual cost of $10,700 in the last couple of years. The old school building, because we did still have some electricity in the building, was approximately $3,000 annual, which is what we expect in the future just for this portion of the building, for a total of $13,700 annually. Now, as we look in the future years, the space that we will be using in the old school building that will be regular space is the 1,400 square foot office space. During basketball and volleyball seasons is when we will heat or cool the gymnasium section. Otherwise, we will keep that at a low temperature, but we do not want to allow the pipes to freeze or have any other damage. So we anticipated the future year at utilities cost to come in at $10,000. That comes to a $3,700 savings. So our return on investment, when you calculate that out, is approximately 3.3 years, meaning that after 3.3 years, the annual savings will then be a true savings for us in our budget. Now, the 3.3 years is truly dependent on the sale price of the modular complex, because we could get enough money from that sale that the return on investment would be immediate. So what are the biggest advantages for doing this? It is to be able to increase the usable square footage while decreasing our annual utilities cost. In other words, being fiscally responsible and also managing our facilities wisely. Some of the advantage for this change, as I mentioned, to reduce the monthly utility cost. It will also provide maintenance and transportation employees with a more professional office space. We will utilize the space already covered by insurance while eliminating square footage to cover in our insurance policy, because we will no longer need to have the Burton Modular Complex, while we already do have the old school building covered with our insurance. We do gain the availability to use the gym for gym space during volleyball and basketball seasons, which is important because we now hold our junior, high school, as well as high school practices after school. We gain the availability of additional classroom space, which is above in the second floor of the gymnasium area. As we look to the future to expand our course offerings, we will not have to put in additional capital costs because those classroom spaces can become operational at no cost. We also gain the availability of the cafeteria area, which can then be used by the community for a variety of events. We also see that opening the old school building rekindles community pride in the building, and respects the history that we have as a community and a school district. As I mentioned before, we're able to provide space for community use for events. And finally, this is responsible management of the district facilities and unused square footage. What you see here is a peek inside of the new space for the Transportation and Maintenance Department in the old school building. This is a large gathering space used for meetings as well as when our staff come together in the morning and at the end of the day. We have additional office space for maintenance staff as well as for our transportation coordinator and our director of transportation and maintenance. So the plan for the modular complex is that we have posted the complex on a public surplus website to sell. Our current asking price is $60,000, which is in the range of the other items that are on the website. Once it is sold and moved off the property, we will do a modified version of grading the field area in order to remove rocks, concrete, and other debris. We will then consider using that field as additional athletic practice space as needed in the future. The old school building, we will only use 1/3 of the building going forward in the future and leaving 2/3 of the building shut off. We will, however, monitor and maintain the inside of the remaining 2/3 of the building for any water leaks, any animals, etc. that may come in. And then finally, we will maintain the grounds around the entire old school building, bringing its appearance up. As always, please feel free to contact me or the Director of Maintenance and Transportation, TJ Lippert. You can reach us at 719-683-2247.